Right Network. Mobilizing, countering the left, energizing the right. New Right Network, home of the New Right movement.
Are you coming to the train, led by a man who wants to break the chains? Establishment is terrified, they can't control his reign. Let's meet this year on the Trump train. Are you coming to the train where brave men called out for a wall built by crane?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to New Right Network's original series, SmythTV. Your host, Brian Smith, giving you all the breaking news of the day, wrapping it all up, making sense of it, exposing the fake news, and giving you the real news every single day, Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. And right after the show, from 8 to 9, is the Wayne Dupree Show. So you got 2 hours of incredible and intense information coming to you to expose these deep state actors, to give you the real news and arm you so that you are a dangerous American when you are confronted with the likes of people that don't have much knowledge, and you will have it all right here. Again, folks, jump down in the show notes below in the description, and you'll see it says full show notes. Click the link. That'll take you over to newrightnetwork.com, where the all 3 pages of show notes are there, and there's an embedded video of the show on the show notes, so you can share that directly with anybody and everybody so that they can watch the show and have the notes. Also over on Smith.tv. If you're missing the notes and you can't find them anywhere, jump over to Smith.tv, and then the drop-down menu, it'll say show notes, and the show notes will be there. And I thank you so much for one of my great friends, Lotus, who's absolutely been a godsend to help us out, putting up the website, maintaining it, and keeping it together. So thank you so much for that help. And if you want to listen to the show audio only, we're on iHeartRadio. Down in the description, there's a link for that. And if you feel like social media has kind of silenced the show and it doesn't show up on your feed, or you can't find it or whatnot, in the description it says Telegram. That's a little app that's on your phone. Click the link, get the app, and then you'll be part of the show, so that when I drop the show notes to that group every single day around 4:30, 5 o'clock, you'll have all the show notes. You'll have all the links, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube, iHeart, and again, the notes. So you'll have everything there. So jump down, grab that Telegram, the app, and you'll be connected. Today, we're going to be talking about promises made, promises kept. A lot of people don't like talking about that on the mainstream media because it will wreck their opportunity to overthrow 2020. Folks, this economy is just doing so well. We're going to talk about it and expose it right here. Also, the left attacking Trump. They can't help themselves. They got to keep doing it. It's over and over. It's nonstop barrage, but that's okay. It's actually kind of funny. Donald Trump jumping in the ring and punching back. We got some folks that you wouldn't normally see coming to Donald Trump's rescue, and that's quite exciting. Folks, by the end of the show, and this is big, real big, and I'm not talking just Spygate all over again, as you can see by the title of the show and the thumbnail of the show. Folks, I'm really actually, by the end of the show, I'm going to wrap this all up in one big, nice, neat ball and expose all the players involved like they've never been exposed before. We've got some breaking new information that's come out that nobody's talking about here in America because Telegram.uk. Funny thing, I have to go to the UK news to find out breaking news and information about the crooked dealings in our own government. So I'm going to wrap all that up. Hillary Clinton, John Kerry, Joe Biden and Barack Obama, the players in Spygate, the players in Uranium One, the players in the Iran deal, Ukraine and Russia, and how all of those, every single one of them are all wrapped up. They're all tied together by the same cabal, and the reason why they had to overthrow and get rid of Donald Trump. You'll be excited. Also, I'm calling this the scandal of the century. I don't know of any other scandal that is this bad, this deep, this just beyond anything that has ever happened, at least in the last 100 years. I mean, World War I and the conspiracy to start World War I might have been worse. Give you some updates on the border crisis, election 2020, and Muslims are running for 2020 election. Why? You need to know. It's a little bit terrifying, and we could start off with let's start off with promises made, promises kept. Our good friend nationalist Lori at L Service. Hashtag more winning, lowest unemployment, more people working, reskill, training, and educating Americans. This tweeted out to the beautiful Ivanka Trump, who tweeted out at Ivanka Trump, "We are winning this Wednesday," which was yesterday. 900,000 have come off the sidelines into the workforce. 1.1 million more people working now since the election. Hashtag pledge to American workers has now garnered 9.8 million plus commitments and investments to reskill, train, and educate the American worker. Like I said, this is really inconvenient information, inconvenient facts for the left because they're doing nothing, absolutely nothing to help the economy get better, to help Donald Trump protect the American people. Well, first off, they're not helping him, and they're never going to help him. Understand, that's for real. They are never going to help Donald Trump. They absolutely have to get rid of him. And I'm going to explain why here in a few minutes. And Bill Maher claiming that we've got to wreck the economy, got to wreck it to get rid of him. Well, that doesn't matter to them. They don't care if it's wrecked. It doesn't matter to them. They'll still have their jobs. They'll still have their millions. What is the matter is if we, the people, find out why they want to wreck it. And the depth of why they want to wreck it is so bad. Think about that. They're willing to wreck the economy to cover for something else. And that cover is so bad. It's beyond treason, sedition, all of that, folks. But we've got great news again with America First agenda, Donald Trump making America great again. And something I say here quite often, and I got to bring it back up again, folks. After 2020, after 2024, so we've got about 5 years left of Donald Trump's presidency. 2024, it is all on your shoulders and my shoulders to continue to keep America great. Stay plugged in right here at SmythTV. Jump over to SmythTV. Become a Patreon. There's also a PayPal button. You can subscribe or one-time donation. Much appreciated, folks. It helps the show to continue on so that I can bring you the show Monday through Friday every single day, as well as take some of these trips to where I'll go to D.C., we're doing a convention down in Florida, so it gives me the availability to be able to do those kind of things as well, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And this at DJT Saves America, breaking. You won't see this on MSM. Hashtag at Coda Vets, at Real Aaron Cruz, at Matt Gates, at Thomas 1774 Payne. These are the ones to follow, folks. These are the great patriots. And this was tweeted out, the YouTube video, link in the description below. President Trump checks in on update of the opioid crisis. We talked about this a while ago, but Donald Trump has made this one of his pet projects. His brother died of alcoholism and some other things, but this is something that's near and dear to him, close to him. And so he really, really wants to get ahead of the opioid crisis, asking China to pass laws, making fentanyl a banned substance, just really taking it to them. Democrats, where are you guys at? Congress, where are you guys at? Are you guys involved in any of this stuff? No, you're not. You're involved in the hate and the anger because every time that something good happens, it makes you guys look bad. So you got nothing. You got nothing. So what do they have? They got a lot of hate and anger. Oh, my Donald Trump tweeting out, calling people out. And this is hysterical, folks. At Real Donald Trump is equals if. Spell, not like Chris. apparently he's cracking on somebody for misspelling a word. Hey, folks, I give people a pass all the time on Twitter for misspelling words. Nobody gives Donald Trump a pass on misspelled words, so I give him all the credit to go ahead and go at people for misspelling. And this too, Geraldo Rivera, who tweeted out, this is the same Bill Maher who accused real Donald Trump of being Putin's bitch and a traitor. He also owes me a grand bet that there was collusion with Russia, other of Maher's delusions. Andrew Cuomo on the fake news CNN tweeted this video clip out. If he loses, he won't go. I've been saying that since before he got elected. Real-time host Bill Maher warns Chris Cuomo that president may not leave the White House if, not is, he loses the presidential election in 2020, saying it's something we have to worry about.
Give me a feel for what you think about, not necessarily predictions, but what do you imagine happening going forward? In whatever political way is relevant.
One of those things, to take up your point that I've been talking about for years now, almost 3 years, that a lot of people are talking about now, is that if he loses Trump, he won't go. I've been saying that since before he got elected, that if he loses the second time, if he loses the coming election, and Michael Cohen said that, Nancy Pelosi said that, a lot of people now, and I think that we have to worry about, because a lot of people say, well, yes, it can happen here, meaning fascism, meaning something other than what was democracy. Now, I think we're already there. When the President of the United States is saying that the news is the enemy of the people, you know, I have a dictator checklist that I read on my show sometimes, things that no American president has ever done, but this president does. Appointing your family to key government positions. This is banana republic
So
stuff.
you think he wouldn't leave?
That is one of them. I absolutely think he will not leave.
Now, that would be something. Hopefully, even the great Bill Maher is wrong about the president refusing to accept the results of the election if he loses. But what do you think? Let me know. Now, Maher wanted President Trump gone yesterday. We know that. But what does he think the Democrats should do going forward? Does he believe in the impeachment route? His easy but complicated advice to Democrats next.
Oh, come on, man. This is out of control, folks. Key positions as family members, he's all in all the rights to do that. That's first and foremost. But secondly, let's tackle this fascism idea. Fascism, you meaning like rounding up people, putting them in internment camps, Jews and forcing them into slave labor. Where's that happening? Huh? The takeover of the healthcare system. Where's that happening? Huh? Bill Maher, because you're saying that the fake news enemy of the people. You guys are. You are absolutely the fake news, the enemy of the people, without a doubt. This is just unbelievable. But Cuomo, it's expected from him. And this at M. Wilshire, 71. Mr. Cummings, you spelled the Obama administration wrong. This is a shout out to Eli Cummings, who tweeted out, the Trump administration is engaged in one of the most unprecedented cover-ups since Watergate. And it is not just about Russia. This cover-up spans across numerous investigations. Correct, folks, there was 4 different investigations. All 4 have been closed out and no collusion, no obstruction. Democrats attempting Elijah Cummings, attempting to get a do-over or a redo, or for those of you who play golf, a mulligan. He wants another try at going after Trump again. And I'm sorry, but this is 100% total projection. He is projecting what the Democrats had done during the run-up to the 2016 election. And this at Sean Lynn 5 tweeting out to Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders had said, here's the difference between Donald Trump and me. He believes in corporate socialism and the rich and powerful. I believe in democratic socialism that works for families of this country. What? Okay, what's Sean? Sean tweets out to him, says, the difference between you and Trump is a billionaire building mogul. You've spent your entire life in politics, grifting off the people. Trump is respected and loved by millions all over the world. you're generally liked by a few old hippies in Vermont. And then his second tweet follow up on that, Sean said, the difference between you and Donald Trump is greater than the difference between night and day. You're an old burnt out communist. It's time for you to settle down. Oh, and Donald Trump would never have stood by while the Hildebeest stole the nomination. Fake sellout. It would suck to be Bernie Sanders right now. It's fresh in our memories every time we look at him. And for those of you who voted for him, every time you look at him, your heart breaks because you realize you were lied to by the same regime that lied to the rest of America about what they were doing in the White House. Hillary Clinton couldn't tell the truth if she tried. And this at Doing Right, Representative Marcia Fudge just called every one of us losers. All right, folks, listen to this. This is getting pretty hostile. This is getting pretty hostile when you've got elected officials calling half of the country names.
It is glaringly apparent that many who support the present administration are either racist, steeped in racist religious beliefs, ignorant, or as my mother used to say, just plain dumb. I believe the crooked ascension of Trump to the Oval Office is a gauge that measures the declining patriotic and moral values of the many citizens of America, as well as being the revelation of the hidden bigotry, judgmental attitudes that yet exist in many of those who call themselves evangelicals. I believe I can safely assume that the United States is no longer a democracy. A democratic government is one that is governed by the people or their elected representatives.
So she just called us racist, bigots, sexist, homophobes. Once again, name calling on the House floor. This is what the Democrats have. Why are they name calling half of America? Why are they name calling racists to vote for Trump or to be with Trump? Why do they keep doing this? I'm about ready to tell you why, folks. It is all to cover up what Donald Trump has uncovered in the last 2.5 years. And they're getting very, very nervous about what Donald Trump is doing currently now with Attorney General Barr being appointed and Barr tapping Durham to do his job. And we come to find out that Durham has actually been on the job months earlier than we were told. And we're being told that it is so deep, so wide, and so far that they have had to extend their timelines to releasing information because of all the other things that are coming up. The dirt is being dug up by Attorney General Barr and Durham, and this at Paul Sperry _ breaking, according to main DOJ sources, Durham's portfolio for looking into the provenance of CH includes examining documents generated by an interagency fusion cell Brennan set up in mid-2016 on Russian election interference and pre-election briefings Steele gave to UK intel. Yeah, folks, they are actually looking into what is going on. And so what he's talking about here is he's talking about that Attorney General Barr and Durham are now looking into what is commonly known as the Five Eyes, the British intel, Italian, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. Intelligence agencies that were working with or assisting Christopher Steele and the Democrats to overthrow this election. And we know it's all fake. We understand. We know it's fake, but there's more information coming out. Donald Trump being interviewed by ABC and Stephanopoulos, and just got the liberals triggered last night over all of this stuff. And I think it's absolutely hysterical. Brilliant move, President Trump, slapping these reporters back in the face. And so all day today has been trending. Impeach Trump now, begging Nancy Pelosi to start the impeachment trial. They get it going, finally get it going, and they are getting angry. The supporters of the Democrat Party are getting angry because they're being gaslit by news media outlets. They're being gaslit by their own party. And now Donald Trump threw some gasoline on the fire. And this at ABC exclusive, President Trump tells Stephanopoulos he wouldn't necessarily alert the FBI.
Your son, Don Jr., is up before the Senate Intelligence Committee today. And again, he was not charged with anything. In retrospect, though...
By the way, not only wasn't he charged, if you read it, with all of the horrible fake news. I mean, I was reading that my son was going to go to jail. This is a good young man, that he was going to go to jail. And then the report comes out, and they didn't even say, they hardly even talked about it.
Should he have gone to the FBI when he got that email?
Okay, let's put yourself in a position. You're a congressman. Somebody comes up and says, hey, I have information on your opponent. Do you call the FBI? I don't think.
Coming from
I'll tell you what,
you do.
I've seen a lot of things over my life. I don't think in my whole life I've ever called the FBI. In my whole life. You don't call the FBI. You throw somebody out of your office. You do whatever.
Al Gore got a stolen briefing book. He called the FBI.
Well, that's different. A stolen briefing book. This isn't a stolen. This is somebody that said, we have information on your opponent. Oh, let me call the FBI. Give me a break. Life doesn't work that way.
The FBI director says that's what should happen.
The FBI director is wrong.
Your campaign this time around, if foreigners, if Russia, if China, if someone else offers you information on an opponent, should they accept it or should they call the FBI?
I think maybe you do both. I think you might want to listen. There's nothing wrong with listening. If somebody called from a country, Norway, we have information on your opponent. Oh, I think I'd want to hear it.
You want that kind of interference in our elections?
It's not an interference. They have information. I think I'd take it. If I thought there was something wrong, I'd go maybe to the FBI, if I thought there was something wrong. But when somebody comes up with Oppo research, right, they come up with Oppo research. Oh, let's call the FBI. The FBI doesn't have enough agents to take care of it. But you go and talk honestly to congressmen. They all do it. They always have. And that's the way it is. It's called Oppo research.
Oh my goodness, folks. This is what has got everybody lit up. I find it hysterical. Folks, colluding with Russia technically isn't illegal. Sitting down and getting Oppo research from somebody, that's not illegal. What the Clintons did and what Obama did was illegal. They actually took and weaponized the FBI and the CIA to spy on their opponent. That is illegal. Getting the information from Fusion GPS, a liar, Christopher Steele, that's not illegal. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing illegal about Christopher Steele. What is illegal, though, is Christopher Steele's information and hatred for Donald Trump, putting together a fake lying PP dossier gate and handing it to the FBI and the CIA to use that to get a warrant to spy on Trump. That's illegal. But sitting down talking with Fusion GBS, Christopher Steele, there's nothing wrong with that. Don Jr. sitting down at the hotel with the Russian honeypot. There's nothing illegal about having a conversation. Then what are you going to do with that? How about if Hillary Clinton, instead of giving the Russian PB dossier gate, giving that to Comey and Brennan and Clapper and talking with them through her lawyers, because her lawyers met with these guys, and instead of doing that and say, hey, you got to spy on Trump because we got to overthrow this election. Instead of doing that, you should have said, hey, FBI, tell Trump that Russia's trying to work with him and that, he should kind of push back on that. And then you should have done that, just like the Bush administration told John McCain. Hey, you got your campaign manager tied with Manafort. They got ties to Russia. You probably ought to back off. And what did he do? He backed off. Nothing illegal whatsoever about that. Dianne Feinstein, FBI tapped her too, said, hey, Dianne Feinstein, you know that Chinese driver that you've had for the past 30 years? Yeah, he's a spy. You better fire him, better get rid of him. Spying on Dianne Feinstein for all that time. Come on, guys. And this at our good friend at Jeep Susie H2. Barr advises President Trump to invoke executive privilege as Cummings plans contempt vote. Democrats are losing their minds and wasting time and a lot of our money. Losers. This by SarahCarter.com. A great article to get into. Check it out in the description below. And she goes into in her article about what Attorney General Barr has suggested that Donald Trump do using executive privilege. She also puts in her article that Barr has given over 17,000 documents to Cummings and to these Democrats. 17,000. And they're asking for more stuff that just either isn't there or is stuff that is so classified that they can't release it this time because of current ongoing investigations. Folks, this is causing problems because the Democrats' delusion fever has reached an all-time high pitch. It is just nonstop. All of them coming after Trump, coming after Republicans. And the reason why is big, guys. It is huge why they're doing this. And you're like, oh, I can't take it anymore. Can't take it. Why are they? It's getting worse and worse. Yeah, because what they did and what they've been caught doing is worse than their fevered pitch that they're screaming and yelling right now. And this at Jim_Jordan, Dems Mueller delusion hits fever pitch.
Sean, here's the fundamental issue is this. The president was falsely accused of this whole collusion narrative. Falsely accused. Do you investigate the false accusation, or do you investigate something Bob Mueller has already spent 22 months on and came back and said there was no collusion and did not indict on any type of obstruction of justice? So the Democrats, they're going to do the latter. They're going to focus on continuing to do what Mueller's already done. They're going to continue to do this. And think about these three key facts. They got memorandums of understanding between the respective chairmen on how they're going to coordinate their effort to go after the president. They first bring in Michael Cohen, who sits in prison for lying to Congress. That was their first star witness. And their second star witness is, as you point out, John Dean, who pled guilty to obstruction of justice. And, of course, he came in yesterday to supposedly give us information on obstruction of justice. So this is just what they're going to do, and it's wrong, and the American people understand it.
Okay. Well, I think first with Tom Fitton's information that he talks about regarding State Department officials and the genesis, actually, of this origination of this investigation into President Trump. I truly believe, and I've been speaking to sources all day today, Sean. One, in fact, is a State Department official, somebody that was there during the Obama administration, that said to me, the genesis of this investigation will begin and end with members of the State Department. That's how serious this is. And that is why, as we look at the scope of this investigation, and I'm sure John Durham, as well as Attorney General William Barr, are looking at this, it's not just going to be about what happened with the FBI. It's going to be about who was involved also at state, at DOJ, as far as John Brennan, Clapper, and a part of this investigation should be requesting from our allies overseas exactly what was asked of them. Because think about this, Sean. What they could have asked was, could you please monitor this person because we believe these Russians or these people are connected to something that's going on in the United States with the election. I believe that some of our allies had no idea in the beginning what they were actually doing. I believe some of those allies were very upset about the fact that they found out that they were part of, they were coerced into basically gathering intelligence on a presidential campaign. And I believe those allies, based on people that I've spoken to, will come clean and tell the DOJ exactly what happened.
Understand this fundamental fact. The FBI was on notice prior to October 21st, 2016, prior to going to the FISA court. They were on notice from both the Department of Justice and the State Department about Christopher Steele, the key player in this, the guy who put together the dossier, who was paid for by the Clintons. They were on notice of all kinds of problems, but when they went to the court, they didn't tell the court the Clinton campaign paid for the document. They didn't tell the court that Christopher Steele was biased, so much so he had communicated directly to the FBI, to the DOJ, that he was desperate to stop Trump, and they didn't tell the court that he had been terminated with the FBI because he was out leaking information. I think they're talking about this Azra Turk, this lady who was put next to George Papadopoulos, pretending to be somebody else. So they got to be talking about that. I think they're looking at Mr. Mifsud, this guy whose name comes up all the time, and we don't know where he's from.
Do you think they outsourced intelligence gathering?
I do not know, but I think Bill Barr and John Durham and the folks at the Justice Department are asking the right questions. And that's what you have to do in an investigation. Ask the right questions, get the facts, get the information, and each and every day we learn more.
Okay, a lot was said there. And yes, these players, these actors, they were also talking about Five Eyes, Italy, Australia, UK, British Intel, all working with and helping the FBI and the CIA and the Obama administration to spy on our good friend George Papadopoulos, Carter Page, General Michael Flynn, all of them, and they were spying on them outside of the country. That's the big key factor in all of this. And as Sarah Carter said, I agree with her 100%. There are intelligence agencies that are probably quite upset because they've also had regime changes, just as we no longer have all of the Hillary Clinton, all the Barack Obama involved in our government as they were before. There are other countries that have gone through, and now they've got a new regime change. Just like in the Ukraine, their new attorney general is got all kinds of information that needs to be given to Bill Barr. Was going to be given to Mueller. Mueller didn't even want it. Yeah, he didn't want it because it would expose what was going on. But now we got Attorney General Barr, who's getting involved in these other countries with this other information, putting together the very beginnings of this Russian collusion Spygate. We know the answer. We know what's going on. But here's what's real. What's real is that Donald Trump in 2.5 years has figured it out. He knows what's going on now. You got to rewind it. Think back 2.5 years ago when Donald Trump first took office and all the people he had to fire, all the people that were leaking, all the people that were spying. You just had some really bad stuff going on, and even people that were leaking stuff like Bannon. Bannon wanted to be something special, and so he was leaking to a friend of ours who was up and coming new news media. They threw him out a fake story. New news media ran with it, and now Donald Trump realized real quick Steve Bannon had to go, a liar and a leaker. I'm just saying, all these people that have come and gone, and look at what we got now. A lot of patience, folks, but look at what we got now. We got Attorney General Barr on the job. We've got Durham doing his job, and heads are going to roll. I've said on the show many times before, I'm going to say it again. People are going to prison. I'm about ready to tell you who's going. This at our friend at Lori_B_777. This is from 2016. We've been more than patient. Time to lock them all up. Yes, folks, we got to remember where this all began. This is all the way back in 2016. And this at Trump_world. This is Donald Trump speaking. New FBI files show corruption at the highest level. Hashtag Trump 2016. This is from Fox News.
This is very big, and frankly, it's unbelievable. What was just found out is that the Department of Justice, the State Department, and the FBI colluded, got together to make Hillary Clinton look less guilty and look a lot better than she looks. This is one of the big breaking stories of our time, in my opinion. This shows corruption at the highest level, and we can't let it happen as American citizens. So let's see how the press covers it. The press likes not to cover it because the best thing that Hillary Clinton has going is the media. Without the media, she wouldn't even be in this race. This is collusion between the FBI, Department of Justice, and the State Department to try and make Hillary Clinton look like an innocent person when she's guilty of very high crimes. So all I can say is, let's hope that our country gets a fair shake. This is a big mess.
And again, folks, these are the great patriots that you need to follow. Jump down in the description below, click the show notes, and every single one of these folks, their names have a link to it. So just click their name. It'll take you directly over to Twitter. You'll be able to follow them and the real news. Folks, I wouldn't have gotten this information if it wasn't for me following Lori_B_777. I couldn't do the show without these great patriots. And again, as Donald Trump was just now saying, from 2016, Hillary Clinton guilty of high crimes. Folks, we've got breaking news that, again, that you haven't seen anywhere. And some of that breaking news is Barack Obama. Where's Obama been recently? And this at Charlie Kirk 11. Where has Barack Obama been recently? Other than meeting with foreign leaders to turn them against the U.S., Obama has been silent. Is it because he knows the truth is coming out? He spied on the Trump campaign. He knows his legacy will forever be tied to this scandal. What is quite unfortunate is that not all the other scandals will take precedent as this one. This is the biggest ever, folks. And our friend Brian Cates over at Epoch Times, he on Twitter, he is at Draw and Strike. Absolutely one to follow, folks. Absolutely one to follow. Great news breaking. He tweets out, did you all notice what happened right before and then immediately after Trump's UK visit? Yeah, something strange happened, folks, going all the way back to 2015. the UK government was tipped off by another country that there was, well, we don't know. We don't know if it was Muslim, but we do know that it was a connection to Hezbollah. And this individual had a bomb-making factory in northwest London. MI5 didn't even know about it, so they were tipped off. In 2015, they went to go to that bomb factory, and they made arrests. They did some investigations. Nobody was charged with 3 tons of ammonium nitrate. And just to kind of equate, to give you an idea, what is 3 tons of ammonium nitrate? Timothy McVeigh with the Oklahoma bombing used 2 tons of the ammonium nitrate, killed 168 people, and did damage to hundreds of buildings all around the area. So you can imagine what 3 tons would be. What am I talking about? Guys, this was covered up by Cameron. This was covered up by Theresa May. This is totally under wraps, undercover. Nobody was privy to the information. Nobody was privy to what was going on. This guy connected to Hezbollah, and this wasn't the first incident. There was another incident at the same time tied in Thailand and other countries where they were doing this, bomb making up to 7-8 tons of ammonium nitrate to coordinate a worldwide bombing effect, if you will, directly linked to Hezbollah, which is directly linked to Iran. Okay, Brian, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? This guy was let go. This was swept under the carpet. Nobody was to know about this because just a few months later, lo and behold, the Iranian deal. The UK did the Iranian deal. Barack Obama and John Kerry did the Iranian deal, giving Iran hundreds of billions of dollars to get them to negotiate or do whatever. All the while we watched, Iran thumb their nose in their face, could care less. Here's the theory that Brian Cates has, and I agree with him. His theory goes is that the first 4 years of Barack Obama's presidency was all about a bribery, taking money from Russia, taking money from China, taking money from the Ukraine, taking money from Iran. All these countries, they were illegally getting money from these different countries to fund the DNC, to fund Hillary Clinton Foundation, all kinds. I mean, we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars with the promise that the Obama administration, Hillary Clinton and John Kerry's and the rest of them would give back. I mean, they're paying you for something. So where's the payback? Brian Cates' idea is that, or his theory is that the payback came in Barack Obama's second term, his reelection. Called on a hot mic. Hey, tell Vladimir Putin that I got more flexibility when the election is over. That's exactly what it was. It was all about the payback. And just like the movie, if you haven't seen it, you absolutely ought to see it. The Conspiracy, World War I. It's on the YouTubes. We played it here in the show. Just like in World War I, it was a total conspiracy to get the war started. Once we got in the war, J.P. Morgan had funded France, had funded England, had funded all these countries to defeat the Kaiser. And our government went ahead and loaned them taxpayer dollars after the war. And then they, in turn, used that money to pay J.P. Morgan back. So taxpayer dollars paid J.P. Morgan off for his, giving loans and making loans and charging all kinds of money to these governments. And all of a sudden, we got saddled with it. That's what Obama and Hillary Clinton, John Kerry, and Uncle Joe Biden were doing. They were saddling the American taxpayer. Folks, this is breaking news. Settling American taxpayers to pay back or to pay Iran, to pay back, to pay Putin and Russia, to pay the Ukraine, to get all these jokers involved because they were on the dole, they were bribed, they were compromised. And now you've got Russia, you've got Iran threatening to talk about Uranium One and how, 20% of the uranium was sold. And Hillary Clinton's brother-in-law happened to be on the board of one of those, one of those guys making all kinds of money. I'm telling you, Bill Clinton receiving money from the Kremlin for giving speeches. Payback had to come, and this is how payback came. They used taxpayer dollars to make the payback. That's what happened. And so you've got John Kerry and Joe Biden. They got together. Their sons got together, formed a corporation. That corporation then put a foreign dignitary in China, a Chinese banker connected to the Chinese government, put them on the board of their corporation. China donates $1.5 billion, $1.5 billion to this newly formed corporation of Joe Biden's son. All of a sudden, the Ukraine's starting to find out about this. Ukrainian officials finding out about all these dirty dealings that are going down. That Ukrainian official started to go and investigate into Biden and Biden's son and the Kerry Corporation. And lo and behold, Joe Biden called the officials in the Ukraine and said, "You fire that guy. Get rid of him. I want him gone." Nope, you won't get your $400 million unless you get him gone. And the official said, "You're not the president of the United States. You can't do that." And Joe Biden said, "Well, call him. Call Obama." And then within the few hours later, that official got back to Joe Biden and said, "Yeah, that guy's been fired. Don't worry about it. We need our $400 million. Proof that Barack Obama is tied into all of this, all of the Fusion GPS, into the Uranium One deal, into the Ukrainian deal with the Joe Biden and son, billions of dollars, pallets of cash that John Kerry delivered to Iran. Barack Obama is tied into every single bit of this. They all knew, for a fact, that if Barack Obama, if Donald Trump won, Hillary Clinton said it, we're all hanging from nooses if he wins this. Absolutely. That's why they were all out to get him. And again, right after Donald Trump left the UK, check this out. Right after he left the UK, Theresa May steps down. Trump leaves the UK. Bomb factory story now released from 2015. Investigation released by the Telegraph UK about this entire thing that happened over 3 years ago that was covered up by the British intel in order to curry favor with Iran, so as not to expose Iran, not to offend Iran, not to anything like that. And we see who's on the dole. The link for the Telegraph article is in the description. Check out the link for the show notes. Go down through there. It is a phenomenal read, and I'm telling you, this one single incident, this catalyst, has now glued almost all these stories together about everything from Russiagate to Russian collusion to Ukrainian collusion. Who was really colluding with Russia? Who was getting hundreds of millions of dollars from Russia? Who was getting billions of dollars from China? All of this stuff all wrapped up, ironically, by one single story that was covered up 3 years ago. That's why this is so big, folks. And you got to check out the tweet from Brian Cates. It's a long string, not a long string, but it's a string of tweets just exposing what was going on. And again, his working theory is that they were all had. They were all bought and paid for, and the chickens have come home to roost, and they had to pay back Iran. They had to pay back China. Had to pay all these people back. How do we do that? Hose the American people for it. Put them on the line. Use taxpayer dollars. We're not going to give them our money. We got to keep that. The bribes were taken again. Uranium One, China and Iran blackmailed the entire administration and said that they were going to tell everybody about what they've been doing, so they had to get the money back. And something else that Brian Cates also mentions, he says about Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, in the end, winds up literally becoming an unregistered foreign agent who is working for a hostile foreign power while she's Secretary of State. That gets you thrown in prison. We know. We see right now Paul Manafort locked up for doing not even doing that. This is much worse than anything Paul Manafort did. So here's a smoking gun. This put Hillary Clinton in prison for a fact. This right here, these Western governments, officials could not afford to have any of this corruption and treason to light. Hillary Clinton wins the 2016 election, all is well. Everything would have just continued on that course as it had been. Donald Trump wins, all hell would break loose. And this at My Three Monkeys, Melissa. Thank you so much, Melissa, for this tweet. Joe Biden lies to people and tells them Obama administration was scandal-free. Remember when he was VP? When this happened? Former Iranian MP describes how Obama gave Iran $1.7 billion, including $400 million cash in suitcases in the dark of night. This is an official. This is proof to back it up. We got technology giving us all this information. We got the digital warriors right now unearthing, digging up information, putting it all here, right here together for you folks. New Right Network's original series, Smith TV, making sense of it all, showing you all the breaking news, all the dirty deeds, shining light on everything that is going on. And again, former Iranian official exposing, it's subtitles I can't play. I don't want to play. You wouldn't understand him, but it's subtitled. But the link is down there, and you can check it out for yourself. It's 1:30 long. And he just talks plainly about how all the money that they got from the Obama administration, no big deal. And coming back around to Russia, coming back around to we'll all hang by nooses. That's what Hillary Clinton said. Folks, it's happening right now. Adam Schiff is lying on the House floor. Comey exposing. We've got all this stuff. Man, without the internet, you guys could have got away with all kinds of stuff. The internet and technology has exposed you for who you are. You people you are the enemy of the people. This is the enemy of the people, and the news outlets are the enemy of the people for not reporting this information. And we got right here an elected official at Rep. Stefanik. Adam Schiff. Don't believe me today when I told him Comey circumvented Congress by opening an investigation into Trump campaign. Maybe he'll change his mind once he hears it straight from Comey's mouth. Watch below. So she is grilling Adam Schiff, and he's calling her a liar. Check this out.
It was clear in the open hearing that Director Comey testified that he chose not to brief the Gang of Eight on the opening of the counterintelligence investigations. This has been widely reported. This was an open hearing, and we've worked across the aisle on language to be included in the Intel Authorization Act to ensure that any counterintelligence investigation into presidential campaign is briefed. So I hope you would agree, based upon the testimony of Director Comey, that he circumvented the process. And in our oversight capacity, I agree with you. We need to have an update to make sure that they're following those procedures. But I think we need to strengthen not just the typical way of doing things, but put it in law so that they are required to brief us.
Okay, this was taken from yesterday, June 12th, 2019. Yesterday, she's saying he circumvented the law. We need new law to stop the FBI director from being able to do this in the future.
Mr. Stefanik, I would only say that that was not his testimony, that the first time that he was briefing the counterintelligence investigation to us was contemporaneous with his disclosing it to the public.
I did not say that in my statement. Will the gentleman yield? I said days before. So in March of 2017.
And the representative is not accurate, but I cannot go into the timeline, but I can't say that that's not accurate.
I hope the members of the public would go back to Director Comey's testimony and follow the facts and just look at his direct testimony to this committee, which stated that he did not follow the proper protocols and procedures of briefing congressional leadership on the opening of the counterintelligence investigation. And I yield back.
Flashback, March 2017, when James Comey admitted to Stefanik that he circumvented.
The open investigation began in July, and the briefing of congressional leadership only occurred recently. Why was there no notification prior to the past month?
I think our decision was it was a matter of such sensitivity that we wouldn't include it in the quarterly briefings.
So when you state our decision, is that your decision? Is that usually your decision what gets briefed in those quarterly updates?
No, it's usually the decision of the head of our counterintelligence division.
And just, again, to get the detailed on the record, why was the decision made not to brief senior congressional leadership until recently, when the investigation had been open since July, a very serious investigation? Why was that decision made to wait months?
Because of the sensitivity of the matter.
Can you say prison time? It's right here. And now you've got Adam Schiff face flat out lying on the floor. You now got Comey saying that he did something that, I did. I didn't do what went around protocol, went around Congress, didn't brief. Oh, this matter was sensitive. The Donald Trump colluding with Russia was sensitive. We couldn't tell Congress about that. Not only that, but we wouldn't tell Donald Trump about that either, so that he could make measures. And folks, this is all right here. It's a slam dunk. If I'm exposing this to you right now, and you're seeing this in real time right now. Thank you, Representative Stefanik, for doing this justice to us so that we can see this is one that needs to be reelected, folks. I'm absolutely serious about this. She is a digital soldier as well. She's part of this army of ours that we are just trudging away, exposing the fake news. Comey going to prison. He lied. Upper echelons. This goes all the way to the top, folks. This goes all the way, and it has to go all the way to the top. Why? Because Barack Obama had to cover his own ass. Hillary Clinton, CYA, John Kerry, Joe Biden, all of them. It was the biggest CYA con job ever been perpetrated on our government, on our people, ever in the history, 243 years of our history of existence. This is the biggest con job. And these people are going to jail. Mark my words. If I know this information, I'm giving it to you in real time. It's fact, not fiction. Donald Trump knows exponentially more. Bill Barr knows exponentially more. John Durham knows exponentially more information. And now we got foreign governments willing to pony up, willing to work with us to fix what was wrong. And this is going to be one heck of a show, folks. You better grab your popcorn. It's going to be a big one. All right, so let's round the show out with the lightning round, if you will. And this is our good friend at Dr. D. Hennon. Until Congress fixes the problem, they do not deserve a paycheck, let alone a raise. He's running for the 13th Congressional District as a Republican. We absolutely support you, sir.
It's sad that when you think of it, Mexico is doing more for the United States as of now than Congress, and then specifically the Democrats. They have to get their act together. They have to work and get something done because you got a tremendous problem at the border. You have people pouring in, and it means crime, it means drugs, it means so many other things.
And this, our good friend at WTSPN 1013, Gene. Trump keeps protecting America and her citizens while libs mumble impeachment. Trump gets Mexico to agree to send 6,000 more troops to their Guatemalan southern border to control migrants from entering. That's more than Congress allotted for our own U.S. border. This at thegatewaypundit.com. And another great patriot at Jim_Jordan. Why don't Democrats want to know how many American citizens are in our country? He fires back at Elijah Cummings and says, no, we want to know if you're a citizen or not. In this country, the question stays on the census. It's been on the census. You're not taking it off. We want to know, the American people want to know, are you a citizen or not of this country? Democrats attempting to get more voters, harvesting votes, if you will. Democrats harvesting votes from illegals. And this at James PIDD. This is fantastic, folks. Poll, Justin Amash trails primary challenger by double digits. This at Breitbart.com. As you remember, Justin Amash trashing Trump, calling for impeachment. But that's what Democrats do, Brian. This knucklehead's a never Trump a Republican. He just threw himself on the sword. I'd like to know who paid him for it, and I'd like to know who walked up to him and said, hey, Justin, here's the envelope. You better take a look, see what's inside this. Said all kinds of dirty dirt on Justin so that he has to come out against Trump. Folks, this is wretched, awful, but great in turn. We've got a Trump-supporting candidate running against Justin Amash, and I couldn't be more excited about that. And this is our good friend at IBC 360. Muslim groups aim to get 5,000 Muslims to run for office in 2020. The number of Muslim candidates in the U.S. is soaring thanks to some bad organizations. Many have been aware of this intent to infiltrate and dominate for some time, yet still too many are blind. This by deplorablekel.com. And this at Francis_712, Imam warns America about the dangers of the two Muslim congresswomen. You better listen up. Someone like him knows. This by One America News. Jack Posobiec, our good friend, video on YouTube. This, once again, our good buddy, Sean Lynn, LYN5. This fake Republican is a Muslim infiltrator and Muslim apologist running for office in Texas. Wake up and read the writing on the wall. Ronald, your jihad will fail. And this Ronald Payne, this is a problem, folks. Payne tweets out, blah, 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 standard claim. Muslims always lie. That crap is so full of that it earns a place in special clarification book for Islam for dummies. And then I replied back at Brian P. Smith, no, ban the death cult, fake GOP, RNC, GOP chairwoman. This is a Muslim running as House GOP Republican. And let me just clarify a little bit, folks. I got some feedback. I was talking to some friends and whatnot, and just in general discussion, I don't want to be misconstrued. Don't take me the wrong way on this, okay? Muslim Americans, peaceful as they are, it's fine. You can go about your life, peaceful living how you choose. However, as a Christian, it is our duty to inform people who are practicing the Quran, reading the Quran, practicing Islam. I'm not talking about the ones who have joined out of fear for life and death, who just live a normal life, don't go to the mosque, don't read the Quran. And it just, fair weather friends of Islam so, they can stay safe. I'm not talking about those individuals. I'm talking about the conservative, religious, Islamic Muslims that are true to their faith. Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, they're absolutely true to their faith. They hang around with groups and give speeches to groups like CARE that is designated as a terrorist organization. She met with the leader of Turkey, who is absolutely attempting to install Sharia law in Turkey. And I'm just saying that we have a duty to talk with these individuals and say, hey, this isn't the way of life. This is not freedom. Let me show you freedom. That is Christianity. I had somebody mention to me something, the fact that, I got Muslim friends that, they'll sit down, have a beer with you at the bar or whatnot and chit chat. And they're really good people. And they really hate all the violence in Islam with the violent Muslims. I said, oh, bro, I'm not talking about him. I'm saying that his life is he should be in fear of his life. His life is at stake because Muslims that are conservative, true to the calling, will absolutely beat you up, tear you down, and maybe even kill you if you are not true to the faith. Folks, there's a lot of Muslim, quote, air quotes, Muslims that are not good Muslims. They're not in a sense of, when I say they're not good Muslims, meaning that they don't read the Quran, they don't follow the rules, those are not good Muslims. And the good Muslims who follow the Quran will kill them. And there's a lot of them being slaughtered around the world along with Christians. So I'm just saying, folks, we've got to stop Islam from being installed in our country because it is not compatible with our culture. It's not compatible with our Constitution, and it's not compatible with our Bill of Rights. Matter of fact, coexist. Yeah, the sticker that says coexist, and I have all the different religions of the world. And why can't we coexist? The only reason why all the religions of the world cannot coexist is because of one. That's Islam. With an army out to get people. Up to 320 million violent Muslims around the world total. That's an army the size of America's population. That's what we're dealing with here, folks. Those are the violent ones. With that being said, guys, I hope that this has inspired you to jump over to SmythTV, become a Patreon, jump over there, crush the follow, the share, and the like, and make sure you get the notifications. Jump down in the show notes below and hit the Telegram button so that you can get the app and stay posted on a timely manner on the show, when the show goes live, where it goes live, and how to send it to your friends and your family. Thank you so much for all that you guys do to help me to be able to bring the real news to you Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. And stick around. The Wayne Dupree Show is on right after this. You can find him on @WayneDupreeShow on Twitter or at NewRightNetwork.com. Have a good evening, folks. For Thursday Thoughts, I'll see you tomorrow for Freedom Friday.
You've been listening to New Right Network, mobilizing, countering, energizing. Online at NewRightNetwork.com.